Hello, and thank you for tuning in. You are tuned into Esoteric Guidance, Extraterrestrial Earth Angel, and my name is Nehru. We are going to continue our journey through the book of Jubilees. We will cover chapters 35 and 36 today. Perhaps more depending on how long the chapters are. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into our reading. Thank you so much for all of you who do listen to these canonical text videos that are shared here on this platform. Welcome in new subscribers. Okay. So I will give a summary of where we finished up yesterday in the 34th chapter. In the 34th chapter, and we will get into more specifics about Joseph's journey in these next couple of chapters. But in the 34th chapter, Joseph, his brothers, Jacob's son, Joseph is Jacob's son, they sold him into slavery. Then they killed a goat and put his robe or jacket in that blood and brought it back to their father, Jacob. And Jacob mourned the death of Joseph for a year. So we know that these things still go on today. Again, Cain and Abel, these things go on today with stealing birthrights. Today we call it destiny swapping in some arenas, but these things still go on today. And because of their mourning, 2 individuals from Jacob's family passed because of the heartache. And Jacob again mourned that for a year. In actuality, they had sold him off to a merchant, okay? And then that merchant gave Joseph over to Potiphar. All right? So let's go ahead and begin our journey here in the 35th chapter. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. And in the first year of the first week of the 45th Jubilee, okay, a Jubilee is every 25 years. Okay. So 25 times the 40 times 45, 5. Okay. Rebekah called Jacob, her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Jacob said, I will do everything as thou hast commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before the Lord, that I should honor them. And thou too, mother, knowest from the time I was born until this day all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I will always think good concerning all. Okay, that's unconditional love. That doesn't mean you stay around karmic activity, or you let people run over you, or you misinterpret the meek inherit the earth as someone who is a doormat. That's not what that means. Okay? You can be as strong as an ox and still be meek, or a horse and still be weak. Those spirit animals may resonate with you. And how should I not do this thing which thou hast commanded me, that I should honor my mother and my brother? Again, tell me, mother, what perversity hast thou seen in me, and I shall turn away from it? So he's simply asking, when have you ever known me to be deceitful, cunning, sly, sneaky, like a fox? And mercy will be upon me. And she said, tell thee the truth, my son, I shall die this year. Oh, wait, hold on. I skipped a line. And she said unto him, my son, I have not seen in thee all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. And yet I will tell thee the truth, my son, I shall die this year. And I'm reminded of Dr. Malcolm X. I'm reminded of Malcolm X. His spirit comes often. And how Malcolm X knew that even walking into that meeting, that was probably going to be, he already knew that Islam had a hit out on him. Okay, he already knew that Elijah Muhammad put out a hit on him. Okay, when you are an upright divine being in leadership, you do not put out hits on individuals. So what does that tell you about the leader of Islam at that time? Was he upright or was he karmic? Okay. I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years. She lived to be 133. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life, which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said unto him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength. Okay, so in his eyes, she was still healthy. And she was not infirm in her strength. She was not ailing. For she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. There's a siren in the background. And Jacob said unto her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of thy life, and my strength remain with me, thus as thy strength. And thou wilt not die, for thou art jesting idly with me regarding thy death. And she went in to Isaac and said unto him, One petition I make unto thee. Isaac was already ailing, okay, and his eyesight was failing. Make Esau swear that he will not injure Jacob, nor pursue him with enmity. For thou knowest Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth. Okay, so again, divine beings are birthed into karmic situations, karmic families given over to them, adoptions, legally, illegally, okay, sold to these families, okay, such as Joseph. But we are put into these situations to bring healing. Again, earth angels, light workers, star seeds, okay, you show up in someone's life for one of three reasons: karma, exposure, or healing. When the healing is denied, okay, then they are exposed, and that exposure brings karma. Okay, and then you are to continue on your journey. Release that person, release that family member, release those families, release that family member, release that cult, release that coven, and carry on with your high vibrational journey here. And there is no goodness in him, for he desires after thy death to kill him. And thou knowest all that he has done since the day Jacob his brother went to Haran until this day. And that is covered in earlier chapters, how he was forsaken, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart and has done evil to us. Okay, so Esau was one who did witchcraft and narcissistic things to his biological family. Thy flocks he has taken to himself and carried off. all thy possessions from before thy face. And when he implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against thee, because thou didst bless Jacob, thy perfect and upright son. That's the meek inheriting the earth. Jacob was not a punk or a lay down or a pushover. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Haran until this day, he has not robbed us of aught or nothing. For he brings us everything in its season always. And again, in the earlier chapters, we know that Rebekah traveled with Jacob back out to the land which divine had guided Jacob to. And from that land and his blessings, he sent her back with many goats, many sheep, many things. Okay, a tithe, okay, a portion of his abundance. Okay, this is what it means when it says honor your mother and father. Honor the upright mother and father. This doesn't mean honor the karmic mother and father. You are to expose the karmic mother or father. Okay. And rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hands, and he blesses us, and has not parted from us since he came from Haran until this day, and he remains with us continually. 13. At home, honoring us, and Isaac said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob who is with us, how that with his, and with us is by spirit, in union, so frequency, okay, same frequency, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence. And some of you could be discovering that your siblings are unrighteous and violent in a lawless way. And there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all this deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved, for they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the God of Abraham, and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And thou dost bid me make him swear that he will not slay Jacob his brother, even if he swear he will not abide by his oath. Okay, so his father already knew that Esau was a liar, and he would not honor the oath. And he will not do good, but evil only. But if he desires to slay Jacob his brother, into Jacob's hands will he be given. And he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear thou not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful. Okay. I'm reminded of guardian angel interaction from my own journey recently. And powerful and honored, and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rebekah sent and called Esau, and he came to her, and she said unto him, I have a petition, my son, to make unto thee. Do thou promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that thou sayest unto me, and bury me near Sarah. Oh, yes. Oh, hold on, I think I skipped a line. I will do everything that thou sayest unto me, and I will not refuse thy petition. And she said unto him, I ask you that the day I die, that thou take me in and bury me near Sarah, thy father's mother, and that thou and Jacob will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only. And so ye will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you. And you will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do all that thou hast told me, and I shall bury thee on the day thou diest near Sarah, my father's mother, as thou hast desired, that her bones may be near thy bones. And Jacob said, and Jacob my brother also I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth but him only. And this is no great merit for me, if I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in thy body, and together came we forth from thy womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? I'm going to ask a question here. Was Jacob and Esau twins? The internet here is a little slow. Yes, Jacob and Esau were biological fraternal twins. Okay, so there could be something about twin energy. Also with that twin energy, twin flame, if you resonate with that term. Okay. And I myself beg thee to exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day my father blessed him, he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto thee that I shall love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he sware unto her regarding all this matter. And she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do thy pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau, and I shall be first in naught, save in love only. Okay, he says, I shall be first in nothing. Okay, again, humility, but only in love only. And they eat and drink, she and her sons, that night, and she died. So, the dream that she had, despite Jacob's belief, was fulfilled. 3 Jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old on that night, and her 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near their father's mother. Give me just 1 second. Let me plug up. Let me plug this device in because I see the battery warning just came on. Someone could be low on energy or dragging, feeling sluggish. That is an energetic thing. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 35. Okay, so let's continue to chapter 36. It doesn't appear to be very long. Okay. And in the 6th year, let me verify something, because I'm saying 25 and I've been saying 25. A jubilee is 25 years. Yes, a jubilee celebrating 25 years of service or a milestone is known as a silver jubilee. A jubilee every 50 years. A jubilee every 50 years. A jubilee, specifically a holy year, is historically and biblically a time of remission, forgiveness, and spiritual renewal, originally proclaimed to occur every 50 years after the 49th year. Okay, so that explains Rebecca's age. Okay. Let me get back. Okay, Divine was definitely guiding me to check that. So, again, different jubilees, a jubilee 25th year and a jubilee 50th year, each represents different things. Okay. And in the 6th year of this week, and that's good for me to know, Isaac called his 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, and they came to him, and he said unto them, My sons, I am going the way of my fathers, to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore bury me near Abraham my father, in the double cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre. That word's important right now, the meaning of a sepulchre, to bury in, whether you are receiving that or some other significance. Sepulchre, which I digged for myself. Okay, today people still buy plots, okay, death plots, that sort of things. Do people still do that today? There bury me, and this I command you, my sons, that ye practice righteousness, uprightness on earth, so that the Lord may bring upon you all that the Lord said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul, and let each seek in what he may be benefit his brother, so seek to bless them, not curse them, and act together on earth, and let them love each other as their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them, and love them not, for they are full of deception for those that worship them and for those that bow down to them. Okay, and again, idols are any sort. Idols could be money. Okay, the love of money is the root of all evil. That means the love of money to the exclusion of all else. So lie, cheat, steal, kill to get money. That doesn't mean you can't be a millionaire and be a righteous man or woman. That doesn't mean you can't be a billionaire and be an upright, okay, high vibrational being on this earth. You can. In fact, that is the promise that's held for the highest of vibrational beings. Okay? Remember, ye my sons, the Lord God of Abraham your father, and how I too worshipped him and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of heaven in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out unto all generations forever. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it by the name glorious and honored and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth and all things together, that ye will fear him and worship him, and that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever all the days of your life, so that ye may prosper in all your deeds and not be destroyed. And if either of you desires evil against his brother, know that from henceforth, so from that moment that you have evil intent in your heart against your brother or sister, everyone that desires evil against his brother or sister shall fall into his hands, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living. That's the land of the promise, the land of Abraham that was promised to Abraham and his seed, his lineage. And his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. That means uprooted. Okay? But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming, devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land and his city and all that is his. And he shall be blotted out of the book of the disciple of the children of men. Okay, so there's another book. And not be recorded in the book of life. So those are separate books. There's a book of the disciple or the discipline of the children of men, and there's also the book of life. Most are familiar with the book of life, okay, from the religious book, the Lamb's book of life. But in that which is appointed to destruction, and he shall depart into eternal execration. I don't know why I'm having a difficult time saying that word. So that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate and in execration and in wrath and in torment and in indignation and in plagues and in disease forever. Same thing for anyone who tries to block, copy, or anything this video. Same thing comes to you. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day, and he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, which is Esau, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath, and said, this larger portion will I give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Jacob and given my birthright to Jacob. To him let it be given, and I have not single word to say regarding it. For it is his. And Isaac said, may a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seeds this day. For ye have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest thou shouldest work wickedness on account of it. May the Most High God bless the man that worketh righteousness. Him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them. And they eat and drank together before him, and he rejoiced because there was one mind between them. Okay, of one mind, one body. This is your tribe, soul tribe family connection. Again, frequency. Okay, meeting them. Often we consider these individuals best friends or what have you. Again, upright individuals, spirits. And they went forth from him and rested that day and slept. And Isaac slept on his bed that day, rejoicing, and he slept the eternal sleep, and died 182 years or 80 years old. Okay. Also, there's cannot that's 180, 188, somewhere in there. Okay. But this specifically says 180, and so I would rather go with this than something that you Google or find online otherwise. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years, and his 2 sons, again, back then a week was 7 years, and his sons, Esau and Jacob, buried him, and Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Jacob dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father Abraham, and he worshipped the Lord with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according as he had divided the days of his generations. Okay, so Jacob had established certain days, certain celebrations, certain things. Okay, one of those things in the earlier chapters when Joseph was thought to have been killed was every year he marked a certain day every year to be celebrated that year. Okay, and so Jacob continued these traditions throughout the remaining of his life is what this is saying. And he worshiped the Lord with all his heart according to the visible commands, according as he divided the days of his generations. And Leah, his wife, died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee. And he buried her in the double cave near Rebekah, his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn over Leah, his wife, with him, and to comfort him regarding her. For he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly. After Rachel, her sister, died. Okay? For she was perfect and upright in all her ways. May it be said of you women, ladies, there's a difference between a female, a woman, and a lady. May this be said of you, ladies. Graduate to a lady status, women, females. Graduate and ascend to a lady status. For he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly after Rachel, her sister, died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Jacob. And all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word. For she was gentle, she was peaceable, and she was upright and honorable. And he remembered all her deeds, which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly. For he loved her with all his heart and with all his soul. Okay? And so that is the end of the 36th chapter of the book of Jubilees. Okay. So thank you so much again for tuning in. We will be back with with the next couple of chapters in the next reading. Thank you so much again, as always, for tuning in. My name is Nehru. This is Esoteric Guidance, Extraterrestrial Earth Angel. This channel was created on 7/12 of 2023, and it was created 20. Yes. And it was created. It was created for the earth and its angels. It was created for, that's what I'm getting. It was created for the earth and its angels. Okay. Again, my name is Nehru. I am an extraterrestrial earth angel, light worker and Gaia beacon, seated 2 seats to the right of Aravat Most High, the divine supreme being in the heavenlies. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, be encouraged.